Hello. Wi-Fi.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Take two. um, so what would you say if someone came up to you and was like, what's CP? What's one thing you would want them to know?
Um, okay, so first off, I like to be very clear about it's not the same for me as it is for everybody else.
And
So,
that's why I want to interview people because people assume
right,
like my cousin Bob has the same thing. It's like, okay, they might
yeah,
but they don't go through the same things
like,
always.
I've actually been, or attempted to be in relationships where people were like, oh, hey, you have cerebral palsy, and my aunt works with people with cerebral palsy, so I can't be with you because I don't know how to meet these specifications. And I'm like,
But their specifications aren't mine.
like I'm just kind of like, that's a book definition. You can't go by the book for people. Like that's not how it works. Um, so like mine specifically deals with. Ooh, sorry, shot.
So okay.
But my mine specifically deals with my legs. I mean, I have a little bit of problems in my hands, but that's just because of fall damage, really. Um, like when I fall, I'll fall flat like that
Mm,
on the ground.
yeah.
Usually, if I'm not falling backwards.
Falls, man.
Um, but for me, it just kind of makes it more difficult to walk. Um, so it's okay. My mom walks fast, so if we go grocery shopping together, usually if they have the motorized carts, I will use one of those. They are really slow and can't keep up
Yeah.
with her still, but
Yeah.
at least I'm not trying to run.
Yeah.
For
My
me, it's
favorite place
about
to
trying
use.
to catch up with her. Um,
Oh,
so it's generally safer, even
yeah. My favorite place to use those carts is
though.
Sam's Club because they just have really
Yeah,
wide aisles. But
and yeah, like they. Okay, so I actually went to Menards the other day. I got on one of the carts and it like kept stopping, and I was like, "Ow, ow!" I got like very not even close to the middle of the store, and I was like, "Okay, I gotta turn around, take it back, get the other one." And when I took it up there, I let them know what was going on, and they're all looking at me like, "You look young. Why are you on a cart?"
yeah,
So
that's it.
they watched me take it back over to that space, and then I got up and I turned around, and none of them were looking at me anymore because, like, I don't like this comparison just because it's a little embarrassing. But I've been told by many people I look like a penguin when I'm walking.
Oh, well, I've been
Have you
called a
seen myself in the
horse.
mirror?
So,
What?
yeah. Yeah. I walk like a horse.
I
I
don't
guess.
understand. I sway and I waddle. I mean, so I get it. Like, I understand where it comes from because I've seen myself in a mirror walking. Terrible.
Well,
Terrible.
I mean, because we
But
constantly have to be shifting and we gotta stay upright, man.
yeah, yeah, and there's that, but also like with me specifically, I have 3/4 of an inch discrepancy between my legs. So my right one is shorter than my left. So when I take a step with my right leg, I become taller for a second.
Yeah,
So like my body shifts to the left, and then I'll
right.
go back, and then I become shorter, and
I
so
I don't think
I've
I ever really
never
noticed
really
that. Yeah, I don't
like
think.
it's hard to notice when you're kind of more used to it because it just becomes your life and you've seen me walk around and you're
Yeah,
not like looking for that. But um now that I've kind of like after I was told that I had the discrepancy, I went back and I looked at videos that I had of me just like taking 3 or 4 steps, and I'm like, you can see it there.
Yeah.
Like, that's, now I know it's there, you can see it. But like, if you don't know it's there, you don't necessarily see it
Right.
the same way. But it's kind of funny because, like I said, the comparison is embarrassing, but it's true. I can't deny it. I can't argue it. Working with small children is wonderful, because they're very curious, they're very honest, they're very straightforward, they have no filter. I was working with the 4-year-olds at the center that I work at, and one of the kids goes, "Why do you walk the way you do?" and then starts walking like I do. I wanted to be mad because he was making fun of me, but he did it so perfectly that I was kind of impressed.
Well, and I mean, that's kind of the age where we need to start talking about disability, I think.
Yeah.
Because they are the most honest. So if you talk to them now, by the time they're 16, they'll already know about it. It won't be a big thing. But in my experience, parents tend to be like, "Don't talk to them," or "Stop staring." Like, just go, like, move on. It's like, just ask me if you.
I've had so many. Exactly. I've had so many parents drag their children away from me, and I'm like, stop doing that. This is not contagious. I'm not gonna just, oh, you have cerebral palsy now. It's not how it works.
Yeah, I just tell people I have brain damage, and it affects how I walk, you know? That's
for younger kids, it's easier to explain it. Like, oh, I was born a little different, so my legs don't work the same. And, like, I get questions like, what do you mean you were born a little different? Oh, well, my brain was formed differently than yours was, so it affects how my legs work. And, like, that's fine. Having those, like, simplified conversations with kids is great. It works a lot better than going, or, like, sitting in a grocery store or whatever, having a parent and their child walk up and the child go, "Why are you using that cart?" And then the parent goes, "Don't ask questions," and pull them away.
Yeah.
Like, it was the worst thing in the world they could have ever done.
Because that's how they feel now. The next time they'll see someone else, like, "Ooh, I got yelled at for asking a question, so I just won't ask."
Yeah, I hate it so much because it, like, that's what perpetuates the stigmas with disability. Like, nobody asks questions, nobody wants to know, nobody wants to acknowledge that there's a difference. Like,
or they want the short answer. Like,
I mean, giving short answers fine, but it's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah. Sometimes I almost want to come up with like, "Oh, I was in a car accident," or, I went bungee jumping and the bungee broke, just because that's what most people, like, expect you to say. Like, especially because we're in our 20s,
Yeah.
we're younger. They don't. I find, in my experience, that it's like, "Oh, you're too young for that to happen to you." Like, what happened? It's like, well, I have a disability.
Yeah, like, cerebral palsy is one of those that can happen any time in your life. Like, you can be in your 50s, you can be in your 20s when it happens. Like, it really just is because of damage in your brain, and people are like, they don't seem to understand that. They kind of look at you like, what?
Yeah.
What do we say? What do we do?
Yeah, they always kind of associate it with, if you're disabled, you're old. Yeah, if you're disabled, you're old, and you can't, that's not something that should happen to you. It's like, but it does.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, there's a comedian, Daniel Sloss, who talks about his younger sister I believe he said that she was 13, or no, she was like 5, he was 13, something around there. I don't know if you've heard of this comedian, but he
I have
talks
not.
about how they were in this car accident, and his sister's legs didn't work at all, like at all in any way, shape, or form. So, like after they're in this car accident, his mother is like cradling his sister, and some guy pulls over and he just freaks out because they're all scratched up. She can't use her legs. She's crying because, they were just in an accident. So it's like terrifying. And like they're just sitting there and they have this humor about them. And they like they get up to like go get help, and the mother's carrying the daughter, and he's like, why can't she walk? What is happening? Like, he starts panicking. And she's like, oh no, she's been like this her whole life. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Like, no big deal.
Like, they were really funny about it because he's sitting there like, I don't know what to do. Like, she must have just had this happen. She must be feeling so scared and so much pain, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, she feels nothing because she can't. Her legs have been like this her entire life. But like I love things like that because it kind of makes you feel more human when people talk about it. When I found him as a comedian, I didn't expect him to talk about disability. So when he did, I was sitting there like, I'm being represented.
Yeah, like, yes.
And then he talks about how his sister couldn't speak very well and things like that. And like she died at a very young age due to complications with having cerebral palsy, because we didn't have all of the advancements that we did, and possibly something was affected in her internal organs because it is something caused by the brain. So
right.
But he talks about it very openly. Like, I was young when she died. I don't even really remember a whole lot of her, but I remember that we had a lot of fun because we had to. Like, this is how we had to live. So we didn't want to be miserable, so we made it the best it could be. And he talked about, like, their sibling rivalry was simple, but at the same time, like, he would have friends come over, and, like, she would basically just troll him when his friends would come over and be like, don't listen, like, don't acknowledge her because blah, blah, blah. And his friends would be like, oh, how dare you, she's disabled. Like, she's my sister. I can do that.
Yeah, like, my parents really don't, well, family in general don't really look at me as disabled just because I'm me, like, I'm Kyle. Like, it's kind of funny because my brother, if we're going shopping together, sometimes if we're around a lot of people, he'll shout and be like, Kyle, keep up. It's not like your legs are broken. And then everyone around him is like, and it's like, and like everyone just gets so shocked. But when you're around disability enough, you don't really think about it as disability. It's just is what it is, I think.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in the small town that I was in, I didn't have. So I know you said that you, in other videos, that you had a couple of friends with disabilities. I was the only one in my town that went to my school with cerebral palsy that I knew of, because I didn't know anyone in the special education class. My mom insisted that because my only problem was a little difficult walking, she insisted that I be in regular classes, and of course you would, because there's no point in being in classes that dumb you down.
Right.
If you're not at that level. Like, you can't just put someone in a class for simple, like, life skills just because they can't walk. Like, that's not fair.
Not at all.
So I didn't really know anybody that had cerebral palsy when I was growing up. So, like, the first representation I had, the first time I felt like I was any kind of human, or that it was something that happened to other people, was seeing South Park. Like, I think I was, oh gosh, I think I was like 3 when it came out, and my parents were teen parents. They were just kind of like, it's a cartoon. You don't understand all of the themes that are in it anyway, and what you do is fine because you already learned that from us. So it was what it was. And I quite literally grew up with South Park. So when they brought in, I think Timmy Birch was the first character they brought in. He was confined to a wheelchair. I could be mistaken. They might have brought in Jimmy Bulmer first. I don't know. But anyway, they brought those 2 characters in. Timmy, his disability wasn't entirely defined. The only words he could say are his own name and living a lie. That is a joke that the guys had. But Jimmy had crutches just like I used to, just like you have now. And his legs were kind of crinkly. But when I saw those characters, I was like, I'm on TV! Like, me as a little kid, I wasn't thinking about, they're making fun of these characters, like they're making fun of disabilities. They're just treating humans like humans, and like I've watched over the years, and they've done it really well. Like, they had an episode that was a disability camp.
I never went to one of those.
They had a couple episodes that I didn't, but it was so funny to just watch it and see how many kids they had with disabilities. And like, they weren't making these kids just, look, disability, here's the joke. They were like making them real people with real personalities, and like some of them, granted, were like,
oh, I think I might have lost you for a second. Oh, there we are. There we are.
strongly recommend those couple of episodes because like they pay homage to Looney Tunes characters, and they treat disabled people like people. And so many, like, I remember being a kid and seeing all the outrage when Jimmy and Timmy's characters were first put into South Park. People were outraged and offended, and they were so mad, and I was just sitting there like, are you offended because I'm being represented on TV, or because they're making fun of us like we're people?
Yeah, or could it be like, like people treat us so differently, and they're portraying people showing, they kind of make fun of everyone else, like, hey, you're making fun of these people when you don't have to, like, treat them normally. And that's what South Park sounds like they did. So people don't like to see that, hey, we messed up, or
Yeah, like, I will say that bullying is not okay, but I know it happens. It happens to everybody because, if you have a bad life at home, you might want to try to pick on other people to make yourself feel better, even though that's not how it works. But it's also how people deal with things they don't understand. They make fun of it because it's either that or they get angry about it.
right.
I would honestly have people make fun of me because they don't understand me than to be angry. Or to be like, oh, that's such a bummer that you have cerebral palsy. No. That stuff makes me mad.